Raising Babies 101, the Preschoolers Edition. We look at the quality of preschool education in urban, township and rural areas in South Africa. We find out if our preschoolers are too young to understand the emotion, anger, how to manage it, singabazali. Uma sesoyivala-ke zobe senginibonisa phela ukuthi how easy peasy it is ukwenza-ke phela a yummy, fresh and healthy chicken wrap. Ngiyanamukela-ke futhi kwihlelo lethu elimnandi ngendlela esimangaliso le-Raising Babies 101, the Preschoolers Edition. Igama lami-ke uLindo umfana kaSithole. Ngithi mina kumaqhuzu-ke waleli hlelo sihlezi isikhala sithi kunzima kwa-parenting, kodwa uma uhamba nami kuleli hlelo sizoyishintsha sonke sithi kumnandi kwa-parenting. Out of the 52.98 million people currently living in South Africa, approximately 6 million of those are children. Half living in rural areas and the other half living in urban areas. What is the quality of preschools in these areas? Ozobesiza ukuthi sixazulule lelo daba sibe phela nomniningwane obalekile kakhulu ngoba kubalekile ukuthi phela izingane zethu zifunde. Please welcome in studio Anton van den Merwe, the Managing Director of SA Child Association, who works a lot with preschools. He's here today to talk to us about the state of preschools in South Africa. With him is Lehong, a parent whose child attends preschool in Soweto. Thank you all for joining me. I'll start with you, Anton. What does the SA Child Care Association do?
Well, SA Child Care Association is an independent service provider that is focused on building capacity in preschools, nursery schools, creches, all those aspects. And we have a formal membership of about 1,600 preschools that belong to SA Child Care Association. And we also are a voice and a help for most probably another 3,000 preschools in South Africa in all 9 provinces. So, yeah, that's what we do. We are capacity builders.
What are the differences between a preschool in a township and a preschool in an urban area?
That is a good question, but it's a difficult question to answer. The difference between in the urban area and the township, you've got very good schools in the township and you've got very good schools in the urban area. So I'm saying there's a mix of all of them. The capacity that they have, the infrastructure they have says something about how functional they can be and how well they can function. The finances that's available, if there is any subsidy from the Department of Social Development, otherwise are the parents paying, because if there's no subsidy, then the parents have to foot the bill to keep the preschool running. So I'm saying all those normal challenges there that we have pertaining to that. But now, at the moment, it's a dire position for all the preschools that we are in.
Sister, how did you pick a school for your preschooler?
With me, it was, I had to look at the playground first, because mainly most preschools in our township don't have space for kids to play. That was very important for me. And secondly, the reason I chose this certain preschool that she's in was because it's a Christian preschool, so it goes with my beliefs.
Yeah. What tips would you give a parent who wants his child to attend an ECD?
What I can say firstly is look at hygiene.
Yes.
Look at the teachers, find out what criteria or education development they teach, things like that, because those are things that we as parents don't look at. We just look at a place that is reasonable for a child, for your pockets to actually leave your child whilst you go to work, and we don't think of certain things like actually looking at developing your child, finding out if there are any reading skills that they get, finding out if there are any numerous courses that they can actually do to grow your child, even outside of the world.
Anton, As the Child Association, how much do you get involved in assuring that both learning and environment standards of these ECD centers are safe?
Yeah, we have certain criteria if schools or preschools want to belong to the association. We've got some criteria that they have to adhere to, and they have to at least be on a specific place in terms of education for staff, as was mentioned, which is very important, and also all the equipment and the hygiene and everything. So there's a lot of criteria that one has to add to. So that's very important to us. And then what we do is we try and get our message out to all the preschools. We also take from the townships. We'll take the teachers and bring them in and train them. We have Saturday trainings that we do, so they are trained to be able to look after the development of the children, and not only just all the equipment and stuff they have there, but they have to focus on. You said about the playground. Now we know that children learn by play, so it's important. The playground is very important because that's learning by playing that comes there.
What advice would you give to parents looking for an ECD, whether it's from the rural or in the urban?
I think it's a mother knows their children.
True.
The first advice I would give is, I know we are all sensitive in terms of our expenditure. So, but that must not be the only criteria. Where do we get the cheapest place we can put our kids to? So I think the criteria must be where can our children develop, and take in, make sure if it's clean, hygiene is, if there's good equipment, if the place is looked after, if you can see it, it's looked after. You can see when a place is just left to go to ruins, and that's not the place you want to get your kids. Are there mattresses, are there blankies or whatever? Do they have toys inside? What does the toys look like? Just observe that. How does the teacher, when they meet you, how do they communicate with you? Can you hear there's a teacher's heart there? There's somebody. And, in preschool, it's like we need a whole school full of caring people. That's what we really, in the first, they must care. True. Rather than be educators, they must be caring educators, I believe.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ms. Temi. Thank you, Anton.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I've learned quite a lot from this conversation. Lack of financial resources, untrained staff, lack of equipment, and poor accommodations are challenges faced by many creches. Funding ECD programs can help protect the rights of children, as well as promote human resources development and secure proficient performances by children in schools to improve the effectiveness of the schooling system in South Africa. Forcing women to stay at home because of lack of childcare not only undercuts gender equality, it also bad for the economy, constraining a significant part of the workforce. Kungiphula inhliziyo phela ukwazi ukuthi amanye kama preschools elokishini imfundo yakhona ayinhle neze, kodwa phela singabazali funeka sibele sizama phela ukuthi sikhuthazeke izingane zethu sisize futhi nasemakhaya. According to statistics, this includes a community-based approach in formal training and the support infrastructure. So into ekufanele siyenzeke thina ukuthi phela sihlezi sigqugquzela phela izingane zethu ukuthi phela sikwazi ukuthi imfundo ibaluleke futhi ifane. Okulandelayo we decoding A to Z, and today D is for dyscalculia, a specific learning disability that affects a person's ability to understand numbers and learn math facts. Masibuye ekhefini ke sobe sesikhuluma phela sibuza ama preschoolers wethu ukuthi ngabayazi ukuthi yini ukuhluthukelwa inhliziyo, kodwa okwamanje asike sibeze ukuthi bathini impendulo zabo.
I like playing on monkey bars a lot, and I eat a lot of food that my teachers give me. Ntogo, sifunde, sidle, silale, sivuke. Ukudlala nokufunda. That has a jungle gym.
A jungle gym? Is that your favorite thing?
in today's Too Young for That, we ask, is my child too young to understand what anger is and how should parents deal with it? Also bengisiza-ke namhlanje ukuthi sizama ukuxazulula lolu daba angihambi ngedwa-ke ngihamba-ke ne-registered counselor uBuyithilo Moshito. Welcome and thank you. Unjani?
Ngiyaphila njani?
Lina ke monate jwang. Ngicela ungitshele, how do emotions in children start to develop?
Okay, children are born as a clean slate, one would say. However, by the age of 2 months, a child can start smiling. And by 2 to 3 months, that's whereby they would start to laugh. And by the ages of between 2 to 6 months, a child is able to acknowledge or express emotions such as fear, anger, sadness, or surprise. By the age of 6 months, a child is able to exhibit or imitate emotions, or they are able to exhibit emotions from other people. For example, as a mother, if you would yell or shout at a child, they would either change their facial expressions. So it shows that a child is aware or can sense that there is something that is going on. They have to cry, or if you smile at the child, they will have to smile back at you.
Ngisacela ungitshele yini into eyenza ukuthi ingane igcina iba ne-anger?
Okay, anger can be caused by a variety of factors. So one of the things that we can look at is trauma. A child can develop develop anger due to trauma. Genetics and biological factors plays a role also. Due to genetics, a child might have chances of developing anger. One of the other things would be a context, the environment that the child lives in or grows in. Also, it can also be parenting styles. How a parent, their own children can develop anger to them. And also a child can develop anger due to unresolved issues, such as conflict between parents, divorce, or it can be grief or a loss of a mother.
So ngamanye amagama usho ukuthi kubalekile ukuthi singabazali uma kuukuthi mhlawumbe ucabana nomuntu wakho uzama ukuthola indlela ongakhulumisana nayo ukuthi ingane ingakhona ukubona.
Yes, because children learn from us. Whatever that a child would show to other people or to people outside, they learn it from their parents. Because anger a parental anger can have an impact on a child. It can prone them to depression at some point, and it can make them feel hopeless or helpless, because children trust their parents more than anyone else.
Iyiphi indlela esingakhulumisana nayo ngengane mayelana ne-anger ezokwenza ukuthi ingane zikwazi ukuyi-understanda kangcono?
As a parent, if you realize that your child has anger problems, first thing first, you are a parent, so you need to stay calm as possible as you can. Because the minute your child, for example, is having anger outburst and you panic, it can make them or increase their anger or them being aggressive. So as a mother, you need to reward your child's behavior. In a sense that if they are behaving in a good way, you reinforce that behavior. And not to give in to a child's anger outburst. For example, let's say that your child, you are at shopping center and your child start crying for things. You do not have to buy those things for a child because you reinforce that behavior. It means that the next time when you go to a shopping center and they start crying again, they will expect you to buy whatever they are crying for.
Hayi ngiyabonga kakhulu Aswethelo and nami kuningi ngikufundile ngiyathemba ukuthi nasemakhaya futhi kukhona ngikufundile futhi ngifundile ukuthi phela uma ukuthi umzali uhlukumeza uhluthekelwa inhliziyo kubalekile ukuthi uthole indlela ukuthi ukhulume ngengane yakho ngesizotha ngoba phela uma uyibonisa kanjalo sowenza ukuthi ingane nayazi ukuthi hayi uma kuthiwa nginenkinga ngikwazi ukuxoxisana nengane yami ngiyabonga ke ngibonga kakhulu singakhohlwa ke phela ukuthi singabazali uma kwenzeka uhluthukele inhliziyo uzama ukuthola indlela ongakhulumisana nengane yakho ungabe sonyusa izwi ngoba uzwenza ukuthi ingane igcina ingasezwa phela ukuthi yini into ebalekile omele ukuthi yenze azame nathi ukusiqoqa kodwa ke siyazi phela ukuthi angihambi nganikezanga ezimnandi kubantu ababukele emakhaya you stand a chance to win yourself a 200 rand shopping voucher umbuzo yo uthi ngwina kanjani buza mina ngitshela wena umbuzo wethu uthi ke true or false 0k to hit your child when you are angry into ozoyenza ke wena ukufaka lapha impendulo yakho ku Facebook page yethu ungenzeka kubo wena kozwinela lo mklomelo. Hayi ke ngiphinde nginamukeleke futhi kwihlelo lethu elimnandi ke phela so uyisoke leso sikhathi nginibonise phela ukuthi how easy peasy it is to make fresh chicken wrap. Ithi nginibonisa ukuthi siyenza kanjani ke phela so qala la ngiphethe lettuce yami la then mangiza la ku number 2 ngiphethe phela ichicken funeke uyazi ukuthi le chicken le emnandi phela ngoqeda siza ngotamatisi ke sihlutha utamatisi siza ngehumushi ke lana maze into esofuna siyenze kokuqala ukuthi siyavula phela la phakathi siyavula ukuthi sikwazi ukufaka yonke into phakathi siyayivula ke ipizza yethu siyayivula nazo yabona ke kube ngazathi umlomo ke oyakhamisa ke umlomo okhamisela ini izinto ezimnandi asike siqale ngelethisi yethu ke la faka ilethisi phakathi faka ilethisi phakathi hey phela kubalekile ukuthi nayi ilethisi ngaphambi ukuthi phela uyifake phakathi ufuna ukuthi uqale ukuyigeza kancane masiqeda ke sesiza phela ngechicken yethu sifake ke inkukhu yethu la faka phakathi umfana wami nje ngizomenzela yona njalo ke le ngoba ngiyazi phela ukuthi uyithanda kabi phela udede ongenzele masiqeda ke lapho sifakani ke manje sifaka utamatisi wakho ufuna uqala uwashe uma uqeda ukuwasha uqobeke phela wenza ukuthi kuma ama pieces nje amancane faka utamatisi wakho hey ngiyanibona lapho ngiyanibona ukuthi ngikonsa amathe lapha emakhaya niyasho ukuthi hey sayihlalela lento epheke udede yavaldo hayi maqeda sesifaka ihumushi yethu ke la ukuthi yonke into phela ingene phakathi sifaka la phakathi hayi ngiyakutshela ngisho umsoco olana anazi lutho nina ngiyathemba ukuthi ngoba ngiyenza nibele nani niyenza hayi ke nazo ke ngcono ngoba niyazibonela ke nawe ukuthi how easy peasy it is to make a fresh chicken wrap so isikhathi sami sokuthi ngithi kuyojambotsha ke nisale kahle. Kodwa ke phela sekuyiso lesikhathi sithi ukudlala angihambi ke ngedwa ngizobe ngidlala ke naye ke usisijessica Mbangeni okuyena ke phela odume ukuthi uyipraise poet futhi ke umama wengane embili sisijessica unjani
Phela Lindo akhonde njani
ngiyaphila kakhulu
ngimqabaqaba igqabi levenika
number 1 Cela ungitshele sisiwami yini nje indaba ezimnandi nje onazo njengamanje ngoba ngiyazi phela singabantu abakule industry sihlezi sinendaba ezimnandi.
A song coming up, Zozibini has done it. That's the title of the song. The song, I composed it when I was in Jamaica. It's got a power reggae beat. I found her as an icon, global icon, universal icon. And during these times like this, we need to be reminded as women that we are precious. We are the queens of the universe, and we are the universal energy. Through it all, we have to influence and build, develop our own role models, and also how to raise our boys, how to be the influence in our community, so that men can believe, you know what, zinzala bantu ezi, zintyatyambo ezi, eziqaqambileyo enqabeni ezixhotyeni ngaphakathi kwamalwalwa, ngabantu abakumele bahlonitshwe. So that is the song, the title of my album. is called Lion Queen.
Lion King.
Lion Queen.
Lion Queen.
Yes, I'm a Lion Queen. It's produced by Nduduzo Mokghatle, the global award-winning producer and the musician. And also, I've got my online store that is coming up with with my app as well. That is our campaign, because the world is changing.
Sacela ungitshele nje yiphi advice ongayinikeza abazali emakhaya abakhulisa izingane.
Umntwana fanele ube secaleni kwakhe lonke ixesha most of the times. Ndiyazi ukuthi siyasebenza and we travel a lot, but each time that we are around, let's take off our hats and be the mothers. And it's very important to build a home than a house. So when you raise a child, you are not raising yourself. You are raising a human being that has life, who has already been there.
Hayi niyezwa ke nani ukuthi hayi namhlanje kunevava vuma hayi ngeke sisijessica ngikufisela inhlanhla ngoba ngiyazi ukuthi hayi uma sekungena ivoice yakho hayi ngivele ngizigazi lami lihlazimule kodwa ngaphandle ukuthi sihambeke manje kunomdlalo la ngifuna siwudlale sobabili ngifuna sithi ukuqhudelana sithi ukuzwana amandla kulamabhokisi la amabili phakathi khona itask nama ngiyazi le task ukuthi yini phakathi so into esizoyenza ke so seyifunda masiqeda ozowina ke ungakhohlwa oqede kuqala uyena opressa insimbi
Akhona cheesecake like
hawu uzobona asike sivuleke sibheke ukuthi khonani phakathi asike sivule then maqeda ke sibeka amabhokisi wethu ngala uthi angeze ukusiphazamisa okay asike sifundeke la ukuthi uthini lo mdlalo hayi mina sengready
okay
now it's already
ready
okay iminute lethu ke liqala manje asiya Jessica ngifuna ukuhlula futhi ngiyazi ngoba ukuthi ingane yakhe izobubukela ngifuna isho ukuthi awuma uhlule kanjani uLindo
absolutely and
hayibo Ngicela ungangirobhi ngoba ngiyakubona ngazathi izandla zakho eshesha kakhulu ngicela ukuthi ungangirobhi ngikubhekile
absolutely and
ngigadile
phela mina I'm the role model of my house
hayi ngiyakutshela ayikushubile
creativity is part of my life
ayikushubile bo 6 5 4 3 2 touch I'm trying. Ngicela ubambe isipho. Ngicela ubambe inamba yakho. Ngicela uyibambe inamba yakho. Ngicela uyibhekise ngapha sibone. Eyamani enhle.
Ngeke uyithengise gallery mfethu lena.
Ngicela uyibheke.
Absolutely, and ngeke uyithengise into ingathi this is an abstract. This is an abstract mfethu. This is art.
Ngiyaqala ukuthi mina usisipesika bezotatazela lapha.
Hayi asazi win an award daydenk.
Abe kumnandi ukuthi sivashele sisipesika namhlanje. Ngithanda ukubonga kakhulu and ngiyazi ukuthi hayi umculo wakho phela ayusithinta ngaphakathi ngikufisela inhlanhla kodwa ke sekuyisikhathi sokuthi ke nginishiye igama lami uLindo umfana wakasithole mnthandani ngangibiza phela ngoDaddy Kavaldo ngiphinde futhi nginibone ngeviki elizayo ku Raising Babies 101 the Preschoolers Edition so mina sengithi chope ngizonibona ngeviki elizayo.